Welcome to Evansville Central High School. Tonight's the Wildcats are on the road against the Central Bears here in another Southern Indiana Athletic Conference matchup. The Wildcats come into this basketball game 3-9 on the season against a Bear team that stands at 3-8. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider along with Jason Stamm and Jeremy Marcos on the video. And all right, Jason, taking a look at the situation for really both these teams. 3 wins on the season, have gone through their struggles and all that. The Bears have actually, their last win was against Central Christian. They won that game 48-31 back on January 15th. But surrounded that's their lone win in their last 7 games. They're 1-6 in their last 7. And the Wildcats coming to this game, their lone win was against Corydon Central. Since that Southridge overtime loss, the Cats have lost 4 or 5. So really 2 basketball teams still trying to find themselves this deep in the season.
Yeah, you're right, Craig. Both teams have to figure out what they need to do to win some basketball games. And not seeing Central's games, I'm not sure what they need to do, but Jasper's main thing that we've got to get better at is not turning the basketball over.
No question.
I think in the last 4 games or so, we've been averaging a little over 20 a game, and that's just not going to get it. And that's obvious. So I'm sure the coaching staff has stressed that, take care of the basketball, do a lot better job with that. So we'll see. We talk about the short amount of time to prepare, not much time in between games. We played Saturday night. Here it is Tuesday, and we're back at it. So they only had practice on Monday. You gotta correct these things on the fly a little bit.
Right. All right, so we're getting set to jump ball here. Now this Central team, they're actually led by Blake Hurties. He's number 10. He's out there. He's a sophomore, and he leads the team in scoring with a 13.4 average. And he's actually hit 22 three-pointers, so he's going to be a guy that Wildcats going to have to key on. And you got Tanner Ernie on him to start things off here.
Yeah, Jasper starts out in their man-to-man defense. Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
They're actually going to call Berger, forcing him out of bounds there, so it's going to be the first foul called on the Wildcats. And kind of a change in the lineup. They actually so Gus Heichelbeck's actually starting. The scores book down there, they had Michael Beekler, unless maybe they gave me the wrong number there. But anyway, shot up, misses there, and Gus comes down with the rebound, so Day with it.
Isaac Heim got the start.
Right.
So
Berger short on that shot. And here come the Central Bears the other way. Hurdy's the sophomore. Gives it up to number 14. That's London Morris. Now he kicks out. Number 21 is the starter. That's Julian Johnson as he gets to the lane. And actually they're going to call a jump ball there. So the Cats able to get their hands on it. No score yet. Just underway here. 7:14 on the clock. Craig Schneider, Jason Stamm, Jeremy Marcos bringing the action here in Evansville, Indiana.
Central in a man-to-man, so we've got to be patient again. Berger looked a little bit better on that shot.
Early lead for the Wildcats, 3-0. So Ernie again, he's probably going to be just locked in on number 10 all night tonight, just trying to shut him down, see if somebody else can pull it off. They only have one other player averaging double figures, and that's number 35, Marquand Swanigan out there. They feed down low. Johnson makes a move, and he gives it to Swanigan. Swanigan gets good position on Gus, and Gus commits the foul there, and so he gets a quick bucket and gets Central on the board.
It's nice interior passing by Central. They got the ball down low. Looked like that guy was going to have an opportunity to score, and the guy on the opposite side kept moving, and he made a nice pass to him.
All right, so Swanigan long on the free throw, and actually Johnson comes over, knocks the ball out of bounds, so Jasper will maintain the lead, 3-2. We played 1 minute and 39 seconds of this first quarter. Cats have been whistled for 2 fouls. Again, Isaac Heim getting the start.
There's what we got to do. We got to get the ball under there to Gus.
Gus actually a little too deep down low as it goes off the backboard. Now Central kicks it over into the corner. Three-pointer on the way, in and out for number 24, Bird. He averages just under double figures at 9.9. So slow start for both these teams. 2.5 minutes into it. Now Gus finally gets on the board.
That time he used his body and strength to get his defensive guy back. He just basically backed him under the basket. When he caught it, all he had to do was turn around and shoot it. He didn't have to make a move. He didn't have to do anything like that.
Right.
And he's got some size and some weight on the guy that's guarding him. So there's a good take by Isaac Day getting to the basket.
All right, so Isaac's going to step to the line. And that was one thing as far as free throws shooting. The Cats only shot one free throw in that loss to Harrison. It was on a three-point play. Day actually hit that free throw, but he misses on that first attempt.
That was the only attempt we had that whole night?
Yeah.
Wow. Hits the second one, but that's not good either. I mean, to only have one attempt, even if you don't make them, that's one thing. At least you're getting there. I mean, you've got to get to the line more than one time in the course of a basketball game.
I agree.
That just means you're not aggressive going to the hole.
Or you're giving up possessions with turnovers.
Well, that's a big part of it. And, the turnovers take away from the shot attempts. They got a mismatch there. They've got yeah.
All right, so Swanigan drops down now. He picks up Gus. But a nice job by Ernie to attack that lane and get the bucket up and in. All right, so things picking up a little bit for the Wildcats with an 8-4 lead here. 4.5 to go here in the first quarter. Bird drives. Now Swanigan has it. Hurties launches his three-point shot that doesn't go. Now here comes Day on the right side and tries to quickly get it to Ernie. He recovers the tip pass there. Now Cats battle for the rebound. Ernie, it will go off of him, and it will be Central basketball.
Good use set to check in for Heim.
All right, so Jace gets his first action.
Foley's getting set to check in also.
They tries to get the ball away there from Bird. Now Johnson will drive. He feeds it over to Swanigan, and they will call him for an offensive foul. So good job there by Jace to get in good position down there.
Jace got there and got good position. The guy was just completely out of control when he went in there. He was kind of fumbling with the ball.
All right, so Coach John Gable works his lineup. Connor Foley in for the first time tonight. And, that's the thing. When you look at the Wildcat lineup, 7 or 8 guys have at least got one start this year. Ernie from 3. Big one there. So Ernie's off to a nice start. 5 quick points for him. Cats up 11-4.
We got to get after it on the defensive end. I mean, if things aren't going to go right on offense and you're going to have turnovers, there's no reason why you can't, really lock down and clamp down on the defensive end and try to get some things done down there.
Foley makes a nice move there and gets his first 2.
They've got nothing inside that can stop Foley or Heichelbeck tonight. I mean, those two ought to have a heyday inside.
Yeah, because again, Swanigan's their big man, and he's only 6'2".
I mean, we got here early and watched their JV team play, and that was awful.
Yeah, it blew them away.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what the final score was, but it was 55-20 or something. I mean, it was bad.
Well, one thing as far as Connor got the ball down low in the blocks, aggressively just went straight to the basket instead of trying to dance around. It's just basically you make that spin move to your right, and you got a better angle, just right there at the goal. So that was a really good move on his part.
And you got to be determined that, you know, I'm going to do this and nobody's going to stop me.
Right.
And that's what, you know, we got to do a lot better job of. So there's that's unforced turnover, and they luckily turn around and turn it right back over to us. But
all right, so Berger's on mark. He's got 2 3-pointers, and we got a timeout on the floor. The Cats have popped 3 from beyond the arc, and it built a 12-point lead, 16-4 here on 18 WJTS. All right, the Central Bears will inbound. They trail the Wildcats by 12 as they come up with 2:14 on the clock. A substitution in there. Number 4, Boston Steers, is in the basketball game for the Bears. Number 23 is checked in as well. That's Brady Cato. They feed down to Johnson. He's short on that shot. Now Ernie's going to race across, gives it up to Day. Day gets back into the lane. Now back over to Ernie. He'll drive. Shot up, short. Good rebound there by Foley. Kicks back out. Day. Now Berger with it. So Cats moving the basketball quickly here.
Look inside.
Jace. A little short on the shot. Outstanding move to get to that position, but can't make the.
Yeah, if you can't finish it, though, the move doesn't do you a lot of good.
Right.
And he did a good job with the move, but I think he double dribbled.
Here comes Berger. Day's left alone. Short on the shot, though. Rebound comes down to Hurties. Drives, shot up, and it doesn't go, but we'll see if they call it for 2. I think they will. So that's a 3rd personal foul whistled on the Wildcats. 2nd one, though, on Berger, who's hit 2 3-pointers. So he's long on that foul shot there.
Allbrand's in for Berger. 24. Bird's back in for Central.
All right, so Blake gets his first point of the ball game. Again, averages 13.4 to lead this team. Makes an 11-point game, 16-5 with 1 minute to go.
Here you need to be patient. They fell back into a 2-3 zone. We need to against the zone, you want to work the ball inside, outside, just like that. That's exactly what you want to do with it. You want to get the ball in, and if there's nothing in there, then turn around and throw it back out. But you always want to work it in and out. A lot of times guys get caught up in that, and they forget about the inside part, and it's easy to settle for a jump shot against a zone defense, but the thing is you can get that jump shot about any time you want.
Sure. All right, so we got 34 seconds on the clock here. First quarter action coming down to the wire here. Is that Central trailing by 11. Singer, number 20, is checked into the ball game. Hurties, good job by Ernie so far on him. He's yet to score a field goal. Oh, ball gets knocked underneath. Now the Cats with a chance with 7 seconds. Allbrand has it. Englert. Good Hugh. Mid-range jumper, and he hits it right at the buzzer. So good job there by Jace to pop that jumper and give the Wildcats a 13-point lead at the end of 1 here on 18 WJTS. So a good start for the Jasper Wildcats. 18 points put on the board. 18-5 at Central. Continues to work their bench. Dalen Mears is now in, number 5. And ball gets knocked out of bounds, and it'll be Wildcat basketball. Went off Caden Bird, number 24.
That was the right call, but I think somebody grabbed his arm as he was trying to make the pass. And I think that's what their coach is trying to tell the referee.
Cats with good ball work there, and it pays off with a 3-pointer by Isaac Day.
Again, you know, it's good ball movement. The ball started outside, went inside, went back outside, and they ended up with a nice shot.
Beat inside to Cato. Cato can't get the shot to go, and here comes Allbrand. cut him off there by Morris. 21-5, Jasper with a nice start to this basketball game. 1 minute into the second quarter.
This is another sectional opponent. Seems like every time we come play somebody anymore, it's a sectional
Most
opponent.
of them are down here in Evansville.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, it's good to – ooh.
That's a little too strong off the glass there. Heim, nice, good move there. Puts that left hand shot up and in. So the Cats get the offensive rebound and a bucket there for Isaac Heim.
That's his second personal, team fourth. Entering the game from Bears number 35, Juan Swanigan.
All right, so Swanigan's back into the ball game. Sitting down will be number 24, Caden Bird. So 4 fouls on Central, 3 on the Wildcats. And the foul shot is good, so good trip there by Isaac Heim. Cats 2 for 2 so far in this game from the foul line. Long shot doesn't go for Hurdy's there. And that's going to be Swanigan against Spencer Englert. If it were the old days, it'd be a jump ball, but possession will go to the Wildcats. What do we do to bring back the jump ball, Jason?
I think that's about like class basketball. You can forget it. I think that jump ball thing was all stemmed from the officials weren't able to throw it up the way they needed to.
I agree.
Yep, those are the turnovers there that, you know, I mean, all of them were aggravating, but that was, you know, that's definitely one there that's, it's not forced, you know, and as the coaches, I'm sure that's, you know, in the film session, they'll point that out.
Sure.
You know, and Coach Albrand, I think, and I don't remember when the interview was, but, you know, he made a good point one time about there's different types of turnovers because some turnovers are dead ball turnovers. Like that was a turnover that could have led right directly to 2 points, but led to another turnover. But, you know, and then there are some turnovers that they throw out of bounds, you know, and then it's basically just a possession. But there's, you know, and as coaches, that they kind of look at those different types of turnovers.
Sure.
None of them are good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, they're all – the turnover's bad, but there's some that lead to direct points and some that don't.
Right. All right, so drive aggressively to the basket. There is number 5, Mears, and ball goes out of bounds, so Jasper will have it.
Central, I mean, they get to the basket, they get going, but when they get in there, they just – it's like they throw it up. They don't shoot it. I mean, they just –
all right, so Heim's in a lane, and they're going to actually call him for a travel there. Yeah, they got 23 on the board right now. I think it should be 24 because Day started things off with a three-pointer. But so we'll call it 24. Yep, they make the correction there. So 24-5, 5:37 to go here in the second quarter. Cats with a 19-point lead.
I'm going to have to text my buddy that's keeping the scoreboard down there and tell him to get with it, quit trying to cheat us out of points. Just because we're winning 24-5, it doesn't mean you got to start cheating Jasper out of points.
All right, so Albrand, he'll sit down as Ernie comes back in the ball game. Central works her inbound, gets it to Swanigan, back over to Morris. Now Swanigan with good position and a nice shot up and in. 4 points for Swanigan, makes it a 24-7 ball game as Gus gets it on the wing. Mooney in the ball game for the Cats. Had a nice shooting exhibition for a couple quarters in that JV game earlier.
He's going to, and if he stays active, he's going to get some shots there because his man was off of him, trying to help inside with Gus. So if he stays on the opposite side like he did there, you know, he can get the ball. That time he was aggressive and went to the hole, but he'll be open for an outside jump shot too.
Right. Cats back up by 19, 26-7. Steer, number 4, back in the ball game, makes a spin move. Now baseline and nowhere really to go. Good job by Ernie to knock that out. All right, so Gus will sit down. We got Connor back in the ball game, 26-7 with 4:17 to go here in the second. Well, the Cats are actually going to be called for a foul. It's going to be on Day, number 5. So he just threw the ball right out of bounds, but I don't know if he was going to number 23, Cato, who was the one that was knocked down there. Now Hurtis is going to check back in for the Cats, and I'm sorry, for the Bears. And then we got Allbrand just came in, right? So Allbrand back in the ball game for Jasper. Swanigan, this ought to be a nice matchup, and then he goes right around and puts it up and in, so he's starting to heat up a little bit. 2 quick buckets for him. He's got 6 of their 9. 26-9 with 4:02 to go here in the first half. Nice feed down low. Then, oh, good steal there by number 23, Cato. Just took that away as he was trying to feed Connor Foley down low.
We need to do a better job of pass faking. We look right where we're going to throw it and then throw it, and it's like, well, the defense was probably doing the same, looking at the same spot.
So Swanigan didn't have a very good angle there, and he's slow to get up on the other side of the court, so the Cats with an advantage, and a big shot there by Mundi. I was going to say the Cats were 1 man up on that last possession. Swanigan's still a little slow. Cats up by 20 now, 29-9. Swanigan.
Nice pass. He wasn't even expecting the pass.
And Swanigan, he may have hurt his wrist or something out there. He was trying to
call timeout,
yeah,
and couldn't.
So he's actually going to go straight
into the locker room.
Yeah. All right, so 29-11 is our score.
They'll really be. They're going to. I mean, what little inside help they had was him, and without him, they're really going to be.
Yeah, because he's got 8 of their 11 points tonight. Try that lob down into Johnson, who's in the ball game, and just way too tall for him. Goes out of bounds, so Jasper will have it. Up by 18 points with 2:35 to go here in the first half as number 5, Mears, comes back into the ball game. So good Hughes out there with Ernie. Allbrand. Mooney's got it in his hands right now, and Connor Foley down low. Foley gets good position, but they whistle for him for a foul, so obviously it must have been a push off there. So 5th foul on the Wildcats, 4 called on Central so far. Connor's first foul. Drive to lane and kiss off the glass. Nice drive there by Singer. First 2 points for him, and actually the first 2 points for someone other than Swanigan in this quarter for the Bears.
Wasn't very much defense there.
No.
Swanigan's back. He's on the bench. Didn't have it taped or anything, but he keeps looking at it, so it must bother him.
I think so. All right, so Gus checks in. Connor sits down. Gus comes up to get the inbound, then hands right back. Ernie stops, pops, cannot get the roll. Minute 52 to go here in the first half. Jasper with the 16-point lead. An easy steal there by Allbrand, and then the foul committed away by Mears.
He wasn't that wide open in football, I don't think. I mean, that guy just looked
Not
right
against Central.
I mean, he even looked right at him and threw it right to him.
Right.
It's like, dude, I don't know what you're looking at. And that was even the quarterback that threw it for Central, I think.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, different story. The Central Jasper games were some battles, especially that first one in football this year. But not so much on the court so far tonight.
No.
Gus Strong move. Cannot get
You
it
gotta-
to drop.
But you got to finish that. I mean, not necessarily in this game. Okay, you got to throw this game out when it comes to that. But down the road in a close ball game, that's 2 points you got to have.
But in a game like tonight, you need to be working on those
Oh, exactly.
moves. So, all right, three-pointer's going to be launched there, and nice shot there. Cato showing his range. Now we're talking about a 13-point basketball game. Central trying to work their way back into it. 1:05 to go here in the first half. Jasper led by as many as 20.
And here's a case where, we were up and we got careless with the basketball. We're not doing what we need to do inside.
Gus able to get the rebound, but he can't get the shot back up.
I'll tell you what, the referees, they're just going to let you do whatever you want in there as far as rebounding goes. Now what are they going to call?
All right, so
Englert's in for Mundy, I believe. Yeah, Mundy.
So Mundy with a nice quarter, 5 points for him. 29-16, Central slowly peeling away that big lead that the Wildcats had not too long ago. So Hurdy's with a free throw there. He's 2 for 3. Both of his points have come from the line. And looks good there. So he's 3 of 4. And now we're talking about a 12-point or 11-point basketball game, 29-18 with 39 seconds to go.
We need to be patient here and get the last shot for the quarter. Work it. For no other reason than we have to prove to ourselves that we can take care of the basketball for 40 seconds.
Right. Cats were able to hit a buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter. That was a 15-foot elbow shot by Goodhue.
Oh, they missed Gus there.
Down to 8 seconds.
Both guys went out to guard the guy outside and left Gus wide open.
Ernie gets a good look. Now Goodhue gets a rebound, and he may be able to put the other 2 points on the board, but he's going to have to earn them from the free throw line.
Jace did a good job of battling in there to get good position so he could get that rebound. But here, again, this is where, you worked your butt off to get it. Now you need to finish this. You need to hit these 2 free throws.
So Goodhue is a 79% foul shooter. And he pops that one. 1.4 on the clock. Jasper with the 12-point lead. And Goodhue, 2 for 2. So West Central can hit a last-second heave here. And they're going to say no shot. That was kind of a quick whistle, I think, by the official because he had 1.4 to go.
He was going to call him for travel, I think is what it was.
Oh, okay.
And then the buzzer went off. So
Right.
it was one of them no harm, no foul things. Just let the buzzer go off and go on to halftime.
All right, so Jace Goodhue hits a buzzer beater for the end of the first quarter. 2 free throws to end the second quarter. Jasper with a 13-point lead. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on that first half?
Well, it was kind of a tale of 2 halves again. I mean, we did pretty well there in the first quarter. We raced out to, build a sizable lead. Got it up to 20, I think, at one point you said, and then we kind of relaxed a little bit. Let them get back to, I think they got it back down to 11. Again, it's not like it was ever in jeopardy of losing the lead.
Right.
But it's, when you got a team down by 20, you got to keep your foot on the gas, or you got them down, you got your foot on their throat, keep it on there. Don't let them get back up, and I felt like, there for a little bit we did that. We kind of let off and let them, we got careless with the basketball. Not necessarily turnovers every time, but missed shots, easy shots.
Right.
Didn't rebound on the offensive end real well. Come down here again on the defense. And, like I said, we've got to improve on the defensive end. We've got to stay, granted, we've held them to 18 points, which that's good. But sometimes you have to look at your opponent and at the, it's not that they're just not hitting their shots. I mean,
Right.
they're getting some shots,
Yeah.
but they're not hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that a lack of their abilities or whatever? I don't know. But I want to see us just ramp it up on defense and just flat get after people.
Right.
I mean, get down in that defensive stance and just flat force other teams into the turnovers that they're forcing us into.
Well, the other thing, too, is that the low post defense need to work on that a little bit more because Swanigan, for a run there, he had 3 quick buckets, and all of them were just point-blank range.
Yeah, and he's, what, 6'2"?
Yeah.
You know, and he's in there with Foley and Heichelbeck and Heim and Goodhue and, you know, now some of them they're the same size. But the point is we've got to be able to – a 6'2" post player, we've got to be able to defend a little bit better than what we did there at that stretch.
Got it.
So –
all right, well, we'll take a halftime break. 31 for Jasper, 18 for the Bears here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're at halftime here at Evansville Central. They call this place the Bear Den. And the Wildcats with a 31-18 lead over the Central Bears. And we'll take a look at scoring first for the Bears. 5 players have scored, led by Marquand Swanigan, number 35, with 8 points. 3 free throws hit by Hurtis, but he's their leading three-point shooter. He's hit 22 on the season, but has not scored a field goal tonight, and he leads this team in scoring as far as average, 13.4 per game. 2 points for Johnson, 3 points off the bench for Cato, and 2 points for Singer, number 20. For the Wildcats, 8 players have scored in this basketball game, so things spread out there. And leading scorer for the Cats is Caleb Berger, 6 points. He hit those 2 first-quarter three-pointers. 5 points for Ernie, 4 points for Dave, 4 points for Goodhue, 2 points for Gus. And off the bench, we got Moondy with 5 there in the second quarter. 3 points for Heim and 2 points for Connor Foley. All right, so the Bears with the basketball, and quickly going after it is Morris. Now he feeds over to Johnson. He pops a shot from the free throw line. So Central quickly on the board, and Johnson knocks the ball out of bounds. So 31-20 is our score now.
Well, you know, we talked there a little bit off the air at halftime, you know, what we need to do. We need to take advantage of the inside when we get the ball in there. You know, we need to convert those inside shots that we missed in the first half.
Well, Heim misses the three-pointer. So
nice
Morris.
pass.
Now he feeds it into Swanigan, and Swanigan's got 10 points. So quickly up and down the court of the Central Bears, and 4 quick points. And John Gable's like, wait a minute. Let's straighten this out. 31-22. Jasper still leads, but now it's down to single digits here on 18 WJTS. Central, Rodney Walker, 16-42 in his 3rd year at the school against John Gable, who's 184 and 128 in his 14th year at Jasper. And Jason, why the timeout there?
Well, Coach Gable wasn't happy with the way the second half started, obviously.
It was a softball pitch to you.
Yeah. You know, we didn't, you know, take care of the basketball. We took an unforced shot. There's a turnover that leads to a foul. You know, we're not playing well. I mean, you know, and I'm sure that's what Coach tried to tell them, you know, in the timeout. Hey, we got to straighten this out. Now, Berger just, you know, picked up his 3rd foul. Mundy's into the game for him. We're just, you know, I don't know. This team's very hard to try to figure out.
Johnson makes a nice, strong move there, so he's got a bucket.
It's almost like we can't stand prosperity. You know, we work, we get ourselves a lead, we get things going the way we need to, and then we let up. And we get careless with the basketball. You know, we just don't do the things we need to.
Himes launched 2 three-pointers, missing both. Day drives there, shot off the glass. He'll go to the line to shoot 2, but I'll tell you one thing, I just think that the message that was relayed in the Central locker room was heard loud and clear, because they are just completely way more energetic here in this second half.
Well, I didn't think in the first half their effort was very good.
There was no effort up.
Yeah, and you know, obviously I think he kind of put a boot into backside at halftime, you know, and challenged them a little bit. And so far they've responded. Now, you know, how long will that keep up is, you know, hard to tell. But as of right now, you know, they're doing what they need to do.
All right, so they start to work their rotation as Singer's back into the ball game. Day's able to hit the second free throw, so he's 2 of 4 from the line tonight. 32-24, it's an 8-point game. And the Cats led by as many as 20 in that second quarter. Morris attacks. Now he feeds out, and that's going to be a foul. See if they call this on Mundy, I believe. No, actually, Day's going to pick it up. So 3 fouls on Day, 3 fouls on Berger. So you're starting to see a little trouble out there for the Wildcat guards.
Well, you know, we talked there at halftime, too, off the air. We didn't see much of those guys and didn't realize that both of them had 2 fouls. Is probably why they, you know, sat out there the second quarter the way they did. That'll be Jasper's ball. But, you know, I mean, Central's scrapping. I mean, you know, they're trying to take it to us, you know, and we've got to respond to it.
Absolutely.
You know.
Again, it is senior night, so Morris is a senior. You're starting to see him really just get after it tonight here in the second half, number 14. And now they're going to have a full court press here. The Cats are going to have to work through. So everybody trying to set the screen there. Now Johnson comes over to help, and Ernie finally gets it across. Now
somebody's got to be open because they had like 3 guys on the ball.
So the Cats have launched 3 3-pointers, and none of them have gone in so far here in this third quarter.
We fall into the rut of settling for that 3-pointer often. When you're hitting them, everything is great. You know, things are going outstanding. You know, second half here, they haven't fell yet.
Right.
So
as the Cats actually hit 5 3-pointers in the first half. 3 of those 3-pointers are sitting on the bench between Day and Berger. Now, Mundy's 0 for 2 from the corners.
See, there's one. That's what I was talking about. You got to finish that.
Right.
You know, I mean, they did a good job. Gus did a good job of getting the rebound, but you've got to getting it. You got to finish it.
Right. All right, Cats still have an 8-point lead, 32-24, 5:25 to go here in the third quarter.
Central's playing with some emotion, you know.
And Gus is just short on all of his shots. So there's Morris. Now he feeds down to Johnson. Johnson, reverse layup doesn't go. Thought he got fouled. He's still standing down there pouting to the official.
You got to take advantage of that, but we didn't. We let him, you know,
get back,
mope down the floor.
Ernie on the baseline, just aggressive defense. You got to be impressed with what Central's doing here, and he stayed in bounds on that play. So now quickly the other way comes Singer.
I mean, Central's playing now like they want to play.
Right.
You know, and
yeah, it's kind of I mean, Johnson lost the handle over here, and then Cats lose the handle on the other side. However, they do call a foul. That's going to go on Singer.
I mean, it's just all around. It's a sloppily played third quarter. There's no doubt. I'm willing to bet that there's been more turnovers than there's been points in this half so far.
I'm kind of keeping my eye on Johnson over there. I mean, he's a nice little ball player, but boy, he's got a temper. He kicked his chair and is throwing towels over there. You got to keep your head in this basketball game, don't you?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no room to get.
That's again missing, shooting short on the point-blank shots.
There's a lack of concentration. You know, I mean it's all it can be. I mean, you know, you can't miss that many short shots like that.
Then we turn it right back over. All right, so the pace is picking up here, and actually aggressively going there was Mears, number 5, but he gets fouled and he's going to shoot 2. So We've been stuck on 32-24 probably for about 3 minutes here, Jason.
Well, like we said, you know, it's turnover, missed shots. You know, luckily, you know, there's times, and this is one of them, that you're playing a team that doesn't have an abundance of talent. And if you did, I mean, they would be ahead.
Oh, yeah. They would have easily overcome that
Yeah.
large deficit.
And, I mean, they're doing a good job
they're
of it.
They're still doing
win.
it now and making a 6-point game.
Yeah.
I think that score was, I think it may have been 29-9 at that point, and Cats have only scored 3 points since then.
See, we did a lot better job that time of the press, of everybody getting out of the way so they couldn't double team.
Well, they call a foul down low, and
They called
Jasper fans not happy about
No,
it.
they're not. They called it on Foley. They called him for a hook, which basically means he took his hand he wasn't dribbling with and hooked it behind the defensive guy's back so that he could gain an advantage. Now,
Right.
to be honest, I wasn't watching that, so I didn't know whether he did it or not, but obviously the Jasper fans didn't agree with it.
All right, Foley's going to pick up another foul, so now he's got 3 fouls. So you got Berger on the bench with 3. You got Day on the bench with 3. Now you're going to have Foley on the bench with 3. 5 fouls called on the Wildcats, and we are just not even 5 minutes into this second half. Hurties can't get the shot off. Good job by Tanner. He's shut him down. He's not even got many shots up in the air. 1 or 2 maybe. Mears with nice aggressiveness. What a play by him to get that rebound and bucket.
Like I said, they're playing hard. You know, I mean that's the bottom line is they're outplaying us.
No question about it. So they have trimmed it down. They are on a 19-3 run right now on the Jasper Wildcats. Jasper still leads, but not by much. It's only a 4-point game with 2:59 to go here on 18 WJTS. Well, Jason, about 10 minutes into this basketball game, it looked like the Wildcats were just going to roll over the Central Bears. They were up by 20 points in that second quarter. It's a 4-point game right now, and the Cats with another turnover.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to explain. It's, you know, it's just the bottom line is Central is playing a lot harder than what we are. We definitely have more talent than they do, but right now they're playing like they want it.
Well, and that's the thing. You aggressively go to the basket. Boston Sears gets a bucket right there, so everybody's getting in on the action now for the Bears. So Day back in the ball game, misses that shot though. So here comes Hurtis, and he's going to be fouled by Ernie. So 6 fouls on the Wildcats. 2:08 to go here in the third quarter.
This is where somebody, player-wise, needs to get the group together and say, guys, you know, it's the guys out there playing. It's not the coaching staff. It's not any of that.
Right.
Somebody has to be a leader and step up. I don't care who it is,
I
but
know.
somebody has to do this and say, you know, we got to get this straightened out, guys.
All right, the Bears, 3-pointer on the way. If he hits that, they take the lead, but he does not. So Gus comes down with the rebound. Cats still clinging to that slim lead. It's down to 2. 1:54 to go.
Central's actually doing this with quite a few of their starters on the bench, I think.
Another layup miss there, so Ernie can't get it to go.
You know, they had 3 guys going for that rebound, and we had 1.
Mears will drive. Hurtis, he's not hit a 3 all night, misses everything there, but
look at the
they get the
hustle.
rebound. Look at Mears. I mean, he is just absolutely after it. What an impressive effort. Number 5 is giving, 5'10" junior, Dalen Mears.
I mean, he's out there just playing his behind off.
No question.
And we've got no answer for it, you know. I mean, he wants every rebound. He wants everything way worse than anybody we've got out there on the floor.
Boy, every coach would take
Oh.
3 to 4 of those guys on their team.
Yeah, and I don't care if he can't shoot a lick, but he's out there busting his tail, making things happen.
Right. He's got 4 points in this quarter.
And I would have never thought that you could say that with 1:22 left in the third quarter that this game's tied.
It is. 32-32.
So we got to get the ball to a ball handler, and everybody else just get out of his way.
All right, so they're actually going to call a foul on the body there by Curtis. You know, and that's the thing with a game like this. I mean, Central has worked their way with sheer hustle and effort and everything to get back in this ball game. What if all of a sudden Blake Curtis, their leading scorer, gets on track? He's got 5 free throws tonight, but yeah. I'm just waiting for him to hit that big three-pointer.
Yeah, I mean, he had a wide open look there a while ago and shot an air ball, but you're right.
He's probably just getting warmed up.
If he gets on fire, gets going, you know, who knows what's going to happen.
Right. So Day stops, and then why would he lean into that? Why not pull? You stop on a dime, go straight up with the jump shot. No need to lean in. Now he's got his 4th personal foul.
Yeah, he tried to clear space by doing it, but you don't need to right there.
No, he had space.
You're 5 feet from the basket, just like you said, jump stop, go up and shoot the basketball.
And again, that's just one thing that kind of drives me crazy with basketball is how players just want to plow into the defender when you got an easy jumper.
Yeah.
All right, so again, Central with the basketball and a chance to take the lead, 32-32 with 40 seconds to go. Mears has it. Number 24, Bird, back in the ball game. Cato, number 23. Gus sags off of him.
Down to 20 seconds.
We're at 12.
Carried it.
All right, so an unforced error there, and Rodney Walker just leans down. Not happy about that, but Central did a nice job of working the basketball. But again, I felt like Jasper just kind of backed off him there.
Yeah, we didn't force the issue. We just kind of let them do what they wanted to.
All right, so Ernie's going to have to force it. No, actually gives it up, so the shot does go off for Mundy, but no good. So Jasper not with a single field goal, 1 free throw in that entire quarter. They led 31-18 at halftime. Right now it's 32-32 as we go into the 4th here on 18 WJTS. All right, Jason, here we go. We got a tie basketball game going into the 4th quarter, and so if anything, any indicator so far, I mean, Central with an outstanding effort to get back in the ball game, outscoring the Wildcats 14-1 in that 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to come down to 1 quarter now, and who wants it the worst. Right there's what we were talking about. Somebody's got to grab the rebound.
Mears 2 offensive rebounds. Smallest guy on the floor. That man weighs 140 pounds. And he's down there battling for every single loose ball, rebound.
Just out hustling, out working all 5 guys on the floor for Jasper.
All right, so the Cats with the basketball.
That's what we need to do against this press is everybody get out of the way and let the one guy bring the ball up the floor, and that's what the coaching staff was yelling at him.
Right.
Quit letting your hanging around there to set a screen.
Mundy with the drive and puts it up and in. So, again, I don't know how many points he scored in the JV game, but he was really popping some threes in one stretch there in that first half, but he hits a big shot there to give the Wildcats a 2-point lead. So Carter Mundy finally gets the first field goal of the second half for the Wildcats and completes the 3-point play. He's got 8, 35-32. Morris hands back off over to Steers here.
Berger's got to be careful.
All right, well, you know, again, Morris again aggressively getting to the lane for the bucket.
Gus needs to just get out of there and let Ernie bring the ball up the floor.
1 point ball game. Jasper up 35-34. Gus. Strong. There we go. That's the Gus Heichelbeck we know.
He did a better job that time of getting his shoulders square to the basket instead of just kind of halfway getting there. He got all the way around and was able to be able to convert that.
I think he forgot about his defender that time too, instead of kind of letting him in his head.
Yeah.
Morris. So he backs it out, trying to run a set play here. Morris again goes to the lane, gets the bucket and the foul. So now you're starting to see London Morris make some plays down there. He's got 2 buckets here in this fourth quarter, the only 2 buckets of the game for him.
You know, and Central did most of this without Swanigan, you know, their inside player. I mean, he's finally back in the game.
Right.
But I think he's, you know, playing with like 1.5 arms or something, you know, because of the injury that he has. But and then he comes in and gets a rebound.
Can't get the shot, but he gets another rebound, this time up and in. So pays dividends to get 35 back in. He wanted to get in on the fun there. He missed the entire third quarter, but gets a big rebound there. And that gives Central the lead, 38-37. We'll take a break here on 18 WJTS. Well, it's almost like the Jasper Wildcats are playing 2 different basketball teams. For the first 10 minutes of this basketball game, Jasper just dominated, led by as many as 20 points in the second quarter early on. But since then, the Central Bears have just picked it up, particularly right after halftime in the second half, and they lead by 1.
Yeah, it's definitely, Craig, like you said, a tale of two halves, 2 different teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Central, the first half was kind of out there just going through the motions.
But Mooney, though, he's making, oh, they're going to say before the shot. But you know what? We've got one guy out there aggressively playing basketball, and that's number 15.
Yeah. Mundy did a good job there, you know, and he did the previous time too of going to the basket, you know, not settling for the outside jump shot. He needs to take about 4 more guys with him, you know, to play that way.
Mooney in the corner. There's Beekler. Leave him alone, and he gets the jumper to go. Why not, man? First 2 points for Michael there makes it a 1 point lead now for the Wildcats. So we're got a little seesaw action going on right now. Swanigan, good job by Foley to drop down and knock that away. And right there, just a bone to the head practically. So third foul called on Blake Hurtis. 9 fouls on the Wildcats, 6 fouls on the Bears. So we're going to be shooting free throws from here on out. Cats with a 1 point lead, 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, we're 1 foul away from putting them in the double bonus.
Right.
So we need to stay away from that as long as we can.
Tell you one thing Central's doing, especially guys that are off the ball, they are sticking to everybody like glue defensively.
Every rebound, you know, their guys go up and want it worse than what we do.
3-pointer on the way, and it's a big one. Number 24, Caden Bird, has given the Central Bears a 41-39 lead. Again, for not many fans here, you're hearing a lot of action, and most of it's coming from the Central Bears bench. They are cheering their teammates on.
There's no doubt they're excited, they're fired up. You know, I mean, obviously it's easier when you're playing well, but you know they're playing with some energy. You know, and I think that's one thing that, you know, it seems like we've lacked, not only tonight but in a lot of our games. We just, whoa.
Yeah, good Hugh gets hammered there as he got Bird up in the air on the shot fake, so he's going to go to the line to shoot too. So, but man, 41-39, Jasper trailing by 2, and every single foul shot. Every single shot is going to be just critical from here on out as Goodhue hits the first one.
Day's checked back in for Berger.
Second foul shot is good. So Goodhue is 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Tie ball game at 41. He's hit one, but way off on that one. So that was Bird who misses that. Coach John Gable with 3:37 to go. Timeout, Jason. What do you see out there?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, obviously we need to match their energy. We needed to do that for quite some time and haven't. And that's what let Central back in the ball game. You know, it was tied at the end of the third quarter. We're tied now halfway through the fourth quarter. So, you know, nobody's going to run away with it.
No.
It's going to come down to who executes. You know, who's going to want it the worst and who's going to execute and do what they need to do to win this basketball game.
Well, and I think another thing, too, is just now you're getting down to a critical time of the basketball game. It's 41-41. You really got to get something out of this possession, don't you?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, every possession now becomes intensified, amplified. You know, every turnover's worse now than what it. I mean, they're always bad, but now it's even worse. You know, we need to take care of the basketball and do the things we need to do to try to come out of here with a win.
Right.
You know, it was looking early like it was going to be an easy win. Now it's going to be a hard-fought win, but a win's a win. So,
exactly.
And that's what we need to come out of here with. Now, Central comes out in a zone, 2-3 zone, so they're going to force us probably to shoot the ball from the outside a little bit more.
2-3 zone, but still aggressive on the ball.
Yeah, they are. Again, you know, they're playing fired up. They're playing with some enthusiasm. We're, you know.
Ernie off the mark there. Day cannot get the rebound, and there's a wrestle on the floor, and they're going to say out of bounds was Day.
I think it went off his foot. I couldn't really tell, but, I mean, it was good hustle by both of those, the Central player and by Isaac.
All right, so Berger's going to check in. So, again, you got to remember Day's got 4 fouls. We want him on the offensive end.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what this is kind of an offense to defense substitution because he's going right back to the scores bench to go back in.
Right. All right, so Mears, who's had a nice second half here, gives it up. That's Cato with the basketball. Kick back out, Steers. So, again, these guys off the bench tonight have done the job. Cato, Sears, Singer, Mears, number 5. Swanigan, though, he gets it down, and they're going to call an offensive foul.
I don't know about that, but I thought he traveled. I thought traveling was a better call, but we'll take that one too because either way it gives us the ball a turnover.
No question. So a player control foul. It's their 8th foul. No free throws though. And I mean he just kind of lowered his shoulder, and I guess
I thought he traveled before he did any of it. But
thing is that's 4th foul on Swanigan, so he's going to have to sit.
Yeah, that helps.
All right, so Day's going to bring it up. Morris will pick him up right there at the 10-second line. Oh, and he ends up, because he wanted to give the ball up to Goodhue.
You know, and I'm not a fan of that one-handed pass, but right there is an example of why I'm not, because he got ready to pass it, and the defense came, and all he could do was turn it over and keep his dribble live, which what he should have done was just pick the ball up.
Right, yeah.
But it's hard to do when you're in the middle of that one-handed pass.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so the rotation continues as Berger's back in, play some D.
Both teams are kind of running that defense to offensive sub because they've got Swanigan with 4 fouls.
And nice job by Berger to steal it, and he gets tripped up, but no call. And Cats will hang on to it as it goes out of bounds by Boston Steers. He didn't even check in. 14 just ran straight out there. But, you know, again, don't you love the energy, though? You can't wait to get back into the ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, Morris has been all over it here in the second half, along with many of these Central Bears. All right, so Berger actually stays in for this offensive possession. We're still tied at 41. We got 2:06 on the clock here. Inbounds, oh my goodness. And again, the hustle there, but Jasper will hang on. But
we got lucky there. I mean, Central had 2 guys busting it after that. They just couldn't corral the ball.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Central, if they would play like this every night, I think they
would win
get
some
more than
they
3
would
games.
They would win a few games.
Right.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Again, it's, there's not a lot of talent there, but there's definitely the heart and the desire to play the way they've played this second half.
It's real simple. You play hard, you hustle, man.
There's no he traveled. There's no reason, you can't hustle like this. None.
Well, that was a play right there where earlier in the ball game we were talking about that, where Gus has got to get that ball and just go straight to the baseline as opposed to trying to make that fake to your right, go to your left. I mean, just so another turnover on the Cats.
You try teaching these postmen to read your defense.
Right.
You got to feel that defense.
Swanigan with an alley-oop jam, and that's going to fire him up. 14 points for the big man, and when we say big man, he is playing like a big man. 6'2", 210 pounds of solid muscle there. And he jams one home to give Central a 2-point lead. So
his wrist didn't hurt there.
No, not at all. All right, we'll take a break here. When we come back, 1:29 to go. Jasper trailing by 2 here on 18 WJTS. All right, Jason, we got 1 minute, 29 seconds. We've not been able to match the energy that Central has thrown at us basically over the entire second half here, but something's just going to happen here for Jasper to pull this out. They trail by 2.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, you haven't matched their energy. Now you would hope, in the last minute and 14 seconds, you would hope you can do something right to try to match it.
Stay with it. Again,
Morris
has been all over.
We're not confident. That shot, that right there, Day would have caught that, and went right into his shot, before, and now we're hesitant. We're thinking.
Well, Gus has got the mid-range, but can't get the roll. But a put back by Ernie. But again, another point-blank shot that the Cats have missed so many times here during this crazed run by Central.
Yeah, I mean, our shooting percentage from 5 feet in has got to be about 30%, if that,
I know.
and that it shouldn't be from that distance. I mean.
All right, so we got a chance to tie the basketball game here. Man, if you just watch this second half, you're almost shocked how is Jasper still in it. But the free throw does go. Tanner Ernie's got 6 points. Needs one more to tie the ball game, and actually Central's going to call a timeout. So, all right, we'll take a break here. When we come back, one more foul shot for the Cats, and they trail by 1 here on 18 WJTS. All right, both teams back on the court, 43-42. One more foul shot coming up for Ernie here, 47.9 to go. Ernie misses. So Central with the basketball and the lead. Now Jasper picks up their pressure. Purdy's with it. He walked with the basketball, but they're not calling many travels, unlike what we saw last weekend. Purdy's with it. And again, they've got the lead. They've got the lead, so they can work it down to 27 seconds, and Mooney's going to be called for a foul here.
It's a double bonus, so they're going to shoot 2. Best part of that is the worst you can come out of it, it's still a 1-possession game if they hit both. So.
And that's the thing. I mean, this Central team shoots 61% from the foul line as a team, but they have hit 6 of 7 tonight. But that one does not go. So Boston Steers will get another one.
Heichelbeck's going to come back in. That gives them another outside shooting prospect.
Steers' second foul shot is good, and they'll make that substitution. They'll get Dalen Mears back into the ball game. So again, well, actually they're going to take Swanigan out, so Steers stays in, so they keep their energetic ball players out there.
They don't have much in there to rebound now or to guard Gus, but
all right, so John Gable wants to call the timeout here. So, all right, now it's, it's down now to strategy and execution. So with 20.2 right there, the Cats just have to get a score.
You're gonna set a set play here. Coach Albrand's down in the huddle, and usually when he gets the clipboard, that's usually what he's doing. He's setting up a design play, set play to come out of the break. It's just a matter of whether we can execute it. And can we hit the shot when we get it?
Right.
You're going to get a shot more than likely because they're going to set some screens and they're going to, whoever it's for. I'm not going to speculate who they're going to set it up for, but whoever it is probably going to get an open shot. And you got to knock it home.
Right.
44-42 with 20.2. You can't. More than likely you're not going to run this down.
Right.
You need to get a shot, and if you miss it, you got to be in their position to get the rebound so that you can possibly have another shot or whatever.
But the thing is with Central, that they're going to stay aggressive. I mean, that's just the way they got back into this ball game, and we're able to build this particular lead. So they're not going to change what they do.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, you don't know what they're going to come out of, or out of the timeout. Are they going to come out in a man? Are they going to come out in a zone? What are you going to do? That's the thing when you call a timeout in this situation. It looks like they're lining up to play man-to-man.
Right. All right, so the inbounds to the Wildcats, 18 seconds.
We didn't have a play coming out of it, but we've got a play now.
Get into Gus. He's got easy position, and they're going to call the foul from behind. Unless they call it on 23, I think they are going to call it on Cato. So 2-3, yes. And double bonus for the Wildcats. So these are big free throws for Gus.
Gus is a good shooter, so, you just got to step up there and hit him right now.
All right, so Heichelbeck misses the first one. And Gus has struggled from the free throw line. He is now 3 of 9 on the season.
You've got massive substitutions now. I'm not even going to try to name all of them, but, they got their rebounding lineup in there. We got our lineup in there to commit fouls if we need. Well, we're going to have to now probably, unless we can get an offensive rebound here.
Gus 0 for 2 on that trip. So it's been a struggle for the Wildcat junior tonight. Just 4 points and misses 2 free throws that could have tied the basketball game. So now we're going to make the long trip the other way for the Bears.
They're going to shoot 2. Swanigan, I don't know what his percentage is.
Step to the line. He is actually a 46% foul shooter, so 11 of 24. And way short on that.
And
so
it's not a pretty looking shot. So, but you got 8 seconds to go to the length of the floor and hit a 2 or possibly a 3.
Yeah, if he hits it.
I mean, he had a chance to make it a 2-possession game, but not now. It's going to be a 1 possession whether he hits it or misses it. So.
Swanigan drills that one, so a clutch free throw for him. All right, so the Cats have got to score with a 3-point shot or a
be interesting
bucket
to see
and
if
a
they
foul.
foul. If Central fouls.
True. I think they're yelling for the foul. They get over to Gus, and again, he's a 3-point bomb, but he can't get it this time. The heroics that Gus has put on throughout the season, unfortunately for the Cats, does not happen tonight. So Jasper, again, a 20-point lead that they had in this basketball game in the second quarter. And Central in this second half just battles hard and just made it difficult for the Cats, really just changed the style of this game and wins this basketball game 45-42.
Yeah, you're right, Craig. Obviously it was a tale of 2 different halves, 2 different teams. Actually, it was 4 different teams. Let's put it that way, because
Right.
Jasper played differently in, the first half as well as the second half, and Central obviously played different, the first half. We were talking off the air there a little bit. The Central coach, what he needs to do is he needs to take this film, the second half of this game, and just replay it and replay it and replay it and
Yeah.
say, boys, play like this for the whole game instead of a half, and they can win some games if they play that hard.
It's real simple. You show them that and you say, this is how you win basketball games.
And they did.
Exactly.
You play like that from the start when the score is 0-0, as opposed to being down 20 and playing like that.
Yeah.
It's just a total different game.
Right.
I don't know. It just.
Okay, let me ask you a question here. All right, obviously we cover Jasper basketball. We're Jasper fans. We've grown. This is our team. All right. What team would you rather go see play? I mean, who would you rather cheer for in a game like this?
Well, we were talking about that. That if Jasper if Gus would have hit that shot and say he'd have hit it and they would have won by 1 point, I would have been happy for Jasper for winning.
Get a win. But
Okay, but Central deserved to win. I mean, they did.
Right.
By the way they played, the second half, and I mean it wasn't like they weren't out there trying in the first half. They were trying, but
they had no energy.
they had no energy. They didn't play with any excitement in anything, and they came out of that locker room in the second half, and it was just night and day difference.
Yeah.
We haven't played like the way Central played this second half. We haven't played like that all year.
I agree.
Maybe at Linton, in the overtime, this first part of the season, maybe a little bit, but no. I mean, they were outmanned. They were outsized. They were out everything underneath, and yet they come up with loose balls. Who was it? The Spears?
Mears.
Mears, 5'10". He's in there amongst
5'10",
Heichelbeck.
140 pounds.
He's in there with Heichelbeck and Foley and those guys, and he's just outworking them, and he's getting the loose balls and the rebounds, and those are the things that is from the coaching standpoint, from Jasper's standpoint, that has to be frustrating.
Well, the other thing too, you're talking about. Okay, you watch the game film and you show this to the Central team and you say, hey, this is how you win basketball games. Jasper's got the same film that they can watch. They can learn from what Central, basically the example that they set on how to play basketball.
What they did to you.
Yeah, and how to will yourself to a win.
Yeah.
That's what this Jasper team needs to learn.
There's no doubt. I mean, it's definitely needs to be a good learning tool and experience for the Jasper team as well as the Central team. And it's on two different sides, but
Right.
both teams can learn a lot from what just happened.
Sure. Well,
I don't know, Craig. From the Jasper's perspective, we're in uncharted territories with the success that the program has had for years and years and years.
right, and the expectations.
And the expectations. So, from our standpoint, and I know with Coach Gobert and Wald on the radio, you try to stay as positive as you can because, these are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. They didn't come down here with the intent to lose tonight.
No.
But to me, it goes back to the hustle and the stuff that we talked about that, we don't see from our players. And, we try to instill that in our sixth grade kids that, there's no reason you can be the worst player on the floor, but work the hardest and hustle. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be talented to hustle at all.
No, not at all.
You just got to work hard. And, and normally, from Jasper's standpoint, we've always had kids that were blue-collar, working hard kids. A lot of times we were on the other side of this.
Right.
We weren't the talented team.
Right.
But we would outwork, we would out-hustle this other team.
Right.
That's happening to us this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're getting outworked. We're getting out-hustled. And, Teams are wanting it worse than what we are.
Sure.
And that's what I think, from my standpoint of watching this, that's what's hard to watch, because it's something new to us. We don't have a leader, our leaders of this group. We talked about how somebody needs to step up and get these, when things were going bad in the second half, we didn't see a point guard or somebody out there say, hey, everybody come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Right.
And somebody chew somebody's, or the whole group, chew them out.
Right.
Including yourself. But,
Yeah.
you got to say, guys, we got to right this ship. But we don't see that.
Okay.
We just kind of let it go. The next guy will do it. The next guy, we just there's no leadership.
Right. And 9 times out of 10, that leader has to come from one of the guards. I mean,
more than likely.
When you look at most teams, the leadership comes from the guy who pretty well has the ball in his hands
Handles
most
the
of the
ball.
time.
Yes.
So I'm just the guys that should be in this position, but they're just not getting there. Is Ernie, Day, and Berger. Those guys, one of those 3 needs to be the ones to come up and just take leadership and control this team. And I don't know if it's, well, I'm a junior, I'm not quite ready to do. At this point, who cares?
At this point, you're not a junior anymore.
Yeah.
You've started.
You are a basketball player on this team.
You've played enough to, you've started, you've played, you've been around the practices, you've been around the program long enough to know that you can lead this group.
Right.
And until we get somebody that does that, we might be in for some more struggles.
Right.
I mean, it's just it's heartbreaking,
Yeah.
To have to sit and watch this.
Right.
I mean, and like I said, I don't fault anybody for any of it. Like I said, the kids are out here, they're playing. The coaches are coaching as hard as they can coach. They're trying to do everything they can.
Right.
From a coaching standpoint, it's got to be tough.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think if I'm a coach of a basketball team like this or whatever, and I see what Central does tonight, I basically say, guys, that is how you win basketball games. What Central did to you tonight is how you win basketball games. Either you do that, or we may not see another win the rest of the season.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So you've got to figure some things out, and there's no magic potion or bottle of water you can give them to straighten things out.
Right.
It has to come from within.
Absolutely.
And it's got to take a combination of the coaches as well as the players. I mean, you can't. I've always disagreed when fans. Obviously there's none here this year, but fans want to start blaming the coaches and they want to start doing that, and it's like, guys, coaches, they're preparing them.
Right.
They're prepared. I
Right.
guarantee you they are.
Yes.
But the kids are the ones that got to go out there and execute.
You're right.
And right now, we don't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have, again, you hate to keep harping on the leadership, but we don't have any. We don't have any. And what it takes is it takes a kid like the Mears kid that was out there. Maybe he didn't lead. Maybe he never said a word the whole second half. But the rest of them saw him in there doing those things. And that's what you don't necessarily have to lead sometimes by words.
Right.
Lead by example.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Because, again, the energy that Mears was showing out there, and Steers and Cato and Singer and all those guys that came off the bench tonight, all of a sudden, next thing you know, London Morris is all over the court. Swanigan, he went in on the action when he was sitting on the bench for a good part, in foul trouble. All of a sudden, he comes in, boom, 2 quick buckets. It's just and again, you don't need to be screaming and yelling and all that, but you need to basically lead by example, and that we really saw that tonight.
Yeah, we did. There's no doubt.
On their side.
You had Hurdy's, who was their leading scorer. I don't know how many points he ended up with
Not
tonight.
a single field goal.
But he wasn't the leader of their team tonight,
No.
by no means.
No.
Some of these other guys stepped up, and like I said, maybe it wasn't by points scored, but it was by the hustle and the desire.
Right.
They had the desire to win this basketball game.
They sure did.
And we need to get – hell, if we just get half of what they had in the second half.
Well, we lost by 3 points.
We would be that much better if we just had half of that desire and effort and want.
Yeah. All we had to do is will our way for 2 more buckets in this ball game, and we win it. But it just didn't come. All right, well, we'll take a break here. Hopefully we get one of the coaches to talk, and it looks like they're working their way up here. So we'll take a break. Jasper falls 45-42 to the Central Bears here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're back once again here at Central High School, and the Wildcats fall 45-42, and head in hand is Coach Caleb Bagley. And, Coach, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they came out with a lot of energy in that, the third quarter, and part of that was we let them off the hook in the second quarter. I mean, we had them on the ropes. We had them in a situation where, a couple stops and a couple more scores, and you may just kill their, any excitement they had. Instead, it was a couple turnovers there in the second quarter, some big buckets for them that just, instead of going up maybe 20 to 25 points, we were now in a dogfight, only up 10, and they took all the momentum to halftime, and then they came out and they kept that momentum, and they just flat out took it to us in the third quarter. I mean, there's really no easy way or no nicer way to say it than they just came out. They were more physical, they were more energized, and they beat us up in the third quarter, and then we kind of hung in there in the fourth quarter, but at that point it was just it was going to be difficult to weather the storm and get them stopped. And to their credit, they didn't quit when things weren't going well, and that was just a disappointing second half.
Well, and the thing is, Jason and I were talking, it's almost like we saw 2 different basketball teams tonight that we played against, but also we were 2 different basketball teams, and obviously that happened late in the second quarter and then continued on to the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, offensively we were doing a really good job moving the ball. We were getting the ball in the paint. We were finishing around the rim. We came out of the gates playing pretty tough and pretty confident. And then we let them, kill our confidence with their energy and their defensive pressure. And we got sped up, and we just didn't respond to the physicality that they played with. And it showed in the second half. We had some good looks around the basket that we couldn't get to go. And I think, they had us sped up. And our mind was sped up. We had to shoot it a little bit faster. We had to, rather than gather and go up strong, we were just kind of rushing things a little bit.
Well, another thing, too, is that obviously both teams are going to have tape of this game, the video that they can watch. And Central's going to learn something from it because it's like, guys, that's how you win basketball games. But you know what? Jasper can learn from that, too, because you can watch from the example that Central played and say, hey, guys, you play with this kind of energy, you're going to be in every single basketball game you play. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like I said, they came out. They had a toughness about them. They had an energy about them. That their whole bench, their whole, everybody on the floor, they were excited. I mean, they were, they weren't playing the scoreboard. I mean, they just kept clawing and kept fighting back, and eventually they obviously come out here with a win. But it wasn't even, they just kind of found a way to kick it into gear, and we, almost, took our foot off the gas and. Allowed them to have that energy because, like I said, we were a couple possessions away from potentially killing that energy.
Yeah.
And we didn't. And, that's what happens when you play capable teams and good teams. They take it and they run with it.
Well, and the thing is, you experienced that in the JV game. I mean, it was a complete blowout. And you guys took control of that game early on and just ran away with it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that tonight in the second game.
Yeah, and I mean, the message was the same in both games at halftime. Was just, you got to – the game's not over. I mean, we played – and like I said, we really did let them off the hook in the second quarter. But, we had to come out like the score was 0-0, and we didn't do a very good job of that. We relaxed, and it was more of a mental relax. Like, we thought they were just going to throw in the towel, and they – they weren't interested in throwing in the towel. They were interested in competing, and they did a good job of that.
All right, well, we get a little bit of time to work on coming back into action on Friday night, but, Du Bois isn't going to lay down either.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a difficult task to go there. It doesn't matter what their record is. I mean, we proved that tonight was just, Central, their record's not, they're probably, I think they're somewhere around where we are, but, they're not just, teams aren't just going to lay over, especially when you go and play a county opponent like Du Bois. I mean, they're always competitive, doesn't matter who they have, what their record is. I mean, they're going to fight just as hard as what Central did tonight. So we have to find a way to be the tougher team and really, be the aggressor on the floor. And we've got to get that turned around because, that's one of our biggest flaws right now. We're just, we've got to be tougher for all, 32 minutes of the game.
Right. All right, well, Coach, you got your work cut out for you for the varsity team, but great win for your JV team tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, they did a good job, and we shot the ball well, and they played together. And yeah, we've got to, we just got to keep working with the varsity. I mean, we've got to, both groups, they got to keep pushing each other, and we just have to continue to get better and find a way to win these games.
All right. Well, hey, we know you guys are putting in the effort, so we're cheering for you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Coach Caleb Bagley. Just disappointing night. So for the Wildcat varsity team, however, his JV team just blew away Central and just controlled that basketball game. So he's 1 for 2 on the night, and Jasper falls to the Central Bears 45-42. Quick rundown of the scoring, and Central, 9 players played, 9 players scored, and every one of them just really put in an effort there, with Blake Hurdy scoring 5 points, all coming from the free throw line, 4 points for London Morris. Julian Johnson with 6 points, 3 points for Caden Berg. Marquand Swanigan led him with 15 points, but boy, those guys off the bench. That's Steers, number 4, Cato, Singer, Dalen Mears. Those guys just really put in a lot of effort and energy and really helped this team win this basketball game tonight. Against the Wildcats, nobody scored double figures. 9 players did score in this basketball game, including Day had 5, 6 for Ernie, 6 for Caleb Berger, 6 for Jace Goodhue, 4 points for Gus Heichelbeck, 8 points for Mundi, 3 points for Heim, 2 points for Beekler, and 2 points for Connor Foley. So Wildcats back in action Friday night. They will play on the road at Northeast DuBois. Tip off at 8 o'clock for the varsity game. JV will be starting at 6:30. Central Bears improved to 4-8. Jasper drops to 3-10. So for Jeremy Marcos on the video, Jason Stamm on the color commentary, my name is Craig Schneider. This is Wildcat Basketball here on 18 WJTS. Good night.